That lawsuit turned into propaganda. Drake's legal case turned into propaganda. Let's be honest about it. From the beginning, for someone like me who says, hey, what? You've got accusations against a $1 billion company, iHeartMedia Radio, Spotify, saying that they colluded against you. I want to hear you out. You're saying, hey, this has nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar. They just used the song to try to take me down. I want to hear you out. To the end now, where we see this case being dismissed the way it was dismissed by Judge Vargas, to the middle, right, where we see commentators taking certain things that was happening during the case, flipping it and acting as though it was all factual, setting certain narratives, to Drake's Iceman episodes and even certain freestyles, right? I hate to see empires crumble on judges' convictions, or the Iceman visuals that came out that some of us said, hey, man, that don't match the raps. What's going on here? Well, clearly, you're not able to probably talk about what's going on candidly. So you're hoping that this story that you're telling, the visuals, permeate people's minds. And they go, okay, well, if there's a legal case, then therefore Drake must be taken advantage of, and try to flip the narrative, right? Try to win the battle not only in the court of public opinion, but in the courthouse. Unfortunately, Drake bet all his chips in, and I believe he lost in three phases, right? You lose the actual battle on wax, court of public opinion now, and also in the courthouse. Losing the actual battle on wax, I think, may have made Drake switch to this different thinking, which is, again, getting away from what I think works best for him. I'm on record, and a lot of you guys know I actually like Drake, telling you that that's what he does best. I try to separate myself to let people know I would never try to rob him of that. He's a great musician. He knows how to make music. So yes, someone might have got the best of you in a rap battle, but even if you wanted to set this narrative, you wanted to get this off. We've seen a Jay-Z after losing a Nas and Etho coming out with Blueprint 2, setting a certain type of narrative. You could have still did that on wax without trying to back that up with the court case. But instead, you chose that avenue. You go into the court case, and now you go into the court case, and there are things that start to not make sense, right? Because we go away from, is this really about UMG, Spotify, iHeartMedia Radio, to certain points in discovery where it looks like it is actually involving Kendrick Lamar, and there's no way to not involve Kendrick Lamar in this. We're asking UMG about any background checks and criminal background checks they've done on him. We're asking UMG of any information that they have on Dave Free and Kendrick Lamar's children. And I asked, how would that play with the audience? And instead of propaganda working or the narratives working the way some of his fans would love for it to work, I believe it actually backfired. And then, so you lose the court of public opinion. And in the court case, I reviewed that 4 pages, all 38 pages of what Judge Vargas stated in her opinions and orders. In an order, the dismissal, to me, in my opinion, was damning. So where does that leave you? At the end of the day, it leaves you where you first started, which is to music. It's always been about the music. It's still going to be about the music. It's always been about the music. You look at your contemporary and people say, okay, why does he not get criticized? What is the one thing that he does? Make sure he keeps it in the music, right? And I think the somewhat hubris of it all, of thinking, well, or maybe it's just a quest for more capital, of thinking maybe even if I did win this case, or if I stretched this case long enough, along with trying to shift the narrative, that would change anything that happened summer of, I believe, 2024. Is interesting to me. Or if you had won the case in another universe and amassed, I don't know, another few $100 million in damages, would that have changed your reputation? The only thing that would have worked is people that believe whatever they believe about you, going to believe whatever they believe about you. If you want to do something to galvanize your fans, it was always going to galvanize your fans. It was always going to be in the music. So, but instead, by choosing to take this angle, and some of your fans, I saw them stands, right? And a lot of them love Drake's music. Even they were like, HQ. I said some of the stuff is not making sense. They were galvanized. But now the fall is steeper. The fall is steeper when you have to take in the battle lost summer 2024, court of public opinion damages, the actual courthouse loss, and then also you having to sort of shift your rollout for the album that's supposed to set you back. Put you back in the forefront of being that guy. Yeah, tall hill to climb. And I just have to quote Drake's arch nemesis on 616 in LA. You playing dirty with propaganda will blow up on you. And it's also part of why I've changed a lot of my rankings of the beef records and moving 616 in LA up a bit more. That record was a lot more important than I thought it was going to be. Okay?